The last time we had a Strada was back in 2019 for our pickup truck Comparo, and it fared pretty well. Now over the years, like a true competitor, it's developed itself, slowly becoming better and winning fans over like a contender would. Coming into the octagon and flexing what it worked on all winter, so to speak, this is the 2021 Strada Athlete. The Strada GT is no longer the king dingling of the bunch. This thing is. Now, it's still loaded with LED headlamps and DRLs and halogen fog lamps found down below, but it celebrates the top step with a second generation dynamic shield concept, a roof, grille, wheels, rear bumper, tailgate grip, bar, and bed liner all blacked out, like it was Marilyn Manson, but good looking and without the creepy vibe. Under the hood boasts the same engine in a Montero, a 2.4-liter inline-4 turbo diesel that produces 179 horses and 430 Nm of torque, but devoid of 2 gears, making it a 6-speed automatic. Traffic has slowly been building up, and in the thick of it, we were doing roughly about 10 kilometers per liter inside the city. Now out in the highway, when you take a mortgage out on your cruise control at 100 kilometers per hour, we were roughly doing about 13 kilometers per liter on the highway. Now I figure you can probably do better if you put a bed cover on this thing. I mean, think about it. That ought to bring your cost of ownership down. AutoDeal.com.ph can connect you to get the best quote from multiple dealerships near you. You can request and compare quotes from any dealership in the Philippines. Get the best deal with AutoDeal. Standard repeaters on the side mirror and uncomplicated stepboard don the side of the vehicle. 18-inch wheels on 265/60 series tires sit ahead of ventilated discs up front and drums at the rear, and above 220 millimeters of ground clearance. Now, to be completely honest, I'm just gonna say it. I'm not a big fan of the ink down the side. On this body color anyway. Probably look better in the orange or the gray, but on this diamond white, it just seems off. Like, ink on Brandon Vera looks fine, but the same ink on me, yeah, that's just gonna look weird. I mean, the mud that we put on this car looks better than the stickers that are slapped on this thing. That's the good thing though, they're just stickers, so you do have the option to take them off. The crying tail lamps mimic those of the Montero, with much less tears, so to speak, which shouldn't be a point of ridicule as much as it is of appreciation. It can carry a little over a US ton, and its volume capacity is over 1,100 liters. However, this Athlete, which is essentially a Strada, has the smallest and lightest payload capabilities in the segment. Now, if you'd like to see how it fares up against the other pickup trucks, click on the top of the screen to go to our Comparo. Now, despite all of that and the fact that it doesn't have a powered tailgate, it does at least come with a bed liner, so that you don't scratch your brand new car with all the crap that you put inside. May affected. I'm gonna beat you to it. The seats, yeah. Like the ink on the side of the car, I'm not sure if these particular colors work with this particular body color. Now, with the orange and the gray, I'm sure it's a completely different story. Mitsubishi does have a J design for the rear cabin, which allows you a little bit more space and more comfort by leaning back. But to be honest with you, I have been in pickup trucks that are a bit more comfortable than this particular one. Space in here is actually pretty good. Space for, 2 average-sized adults, even larger ones. A third person might be pushing it. Toys include 2 charging points found up front, a center armrest, which is actually pretty cute, with 2 cup holders found in the center, and then you got your air controls found up on top. Now, this may sound silly, but I gotta give credit where credit is due. See, the natural flow of the air without using these slats here at the rear is that it flows all the way up on top. Now, what that does is that it cools the hot air up here because the cold air is all the way down here. That's just science, man, and that's brilliant. Power seats and good bolstering, a combination worthy of praise in any vehicle, but more so in a pickup truck because you don't really expect it. An interior which almost mirrors the Montero in a much more utilitarian vehicle is always going to be a good thing. Tectonic plate-sized paddles sit behind a steering wheel with a plethora of buttons to control the trip computer found in the center of 2 analog gauges in the dash, and the touchscreen infotainment system that unfortunately doesn't have Apple and Android and is kind of small and dated, but does have a reverse camera, a gated shifter for those that can't distinguish the pedals down below, and to match its J design, and a lever to help you set up for a J-turn, though we don't necessarily advise it in a pickup truck. The 2021 Mitsubishi Strada Athlete 4x4 is equipped with ABS with EBD, an ultrasonic misacceleration system, hill descent control, hill start assist, 7 airbags, a blind spot warning system with lane change assist, trailer stability assist, and auto high beams. Aside from these features, the Strada also has a forward collision mitigation system, Mitsubishi active stability and traction control, engine start-stop button, and of course, ISOFIX tethers. At first drive, and I know this because I drive a Montero, it's kind of hard to distinguish between the two. You don't know if you're inside an Athlete or if you're actually inside a Montero. Now, I don't know if that speaks badly about our family vehicle or highly about this particular Athlete. Hopefully the latter. But anyway, it's because, well, it's a pretty decent drive. The engine responds well to the throttle, and the giddy-up is almost immediate, to a point where it can get a bit rough if you ask it to move quick, fast, and in a hurry. The NVH can use some help, but it's darn respectable considering that 50% of the vehicle is hanging out the back. Comfort and tech meets higher expectations too, as it is the top-of-the-line variant. But yes, it is still definitely a pickup truck. It's still a couple of classes down from an SUV and a completely different weight division from a crossover. But on paved roads, it's actually very well behaved. Now, I'm not going to shy away and say that it's better than the Navara because, well, that thing rides the best. But this guy, well, it just feels like it's an athlete that's been in training for quite some time and is trying to refine its craft. Now, I have made mention in the past that the steering of a Mitsubishi is completely different to anything else out there, especially if you compare it to, let's say, a Ford, which is so light. This thing is like wrestling an anaconda or wrestling a hippo. I'm sure I've made those analogies in the past. But in all honesty, what it is it's not any of those things really. It's more corn-fed, really, it's what it is. It's stable, it's flat, and it feels safe when you drive. That's what it is. Now, it isn't an all-new model, but technically a new variant. This Athlete 4x4 is available at 1,760,000 Philippine pesos. Now, based on the tail of the tape alone, it would not have been an undercard in the category for most affordable 4x4s in our comparo. In fact, it would have probably taken home a belt because this Athlete's got some skill.